Hi, my name is Chris McHugh. I'm a partner at AKF Group. I've been in the business for about 35 years. I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, and I have been involved in ASHRAE for about that long. My grandfather was in the business. He's a large mechanical contractor. My uncle inherited the business, and my brothers and my cousins and I all work for him in the summers, brazing pipe, hanging ductwork, hanging units, AC units and everything. So I got real world hands-on how to like install stuff. It was a little circuitous, and people were surprised to learn this. I was an art student in high school. I went to the High School of Music and Art, the school that Fame was about, if you guys remember the movie Fame. But music and art was different. It wasn't just an art high school. It also had rigorous math and physics and science and everything. So I took a lot of those classes. And my grandfather, who was old Sicilian guy and a mechanical contractor, he started his firm in 1930, basically said, go do engineering. Because he said, how are you going to make a living doing art? So I endeavored to apply to some engineering schools, and I applied to 4 engineering schools, and I got into 3 of them. I ended up going to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. So I got involved because I looked at it as a great way to meet people in the industry. So I started coming to the meetings early on, and then I volunteered to get more involved at the board. And at that time, you ran through all the different positions. Like I held reception, and then I ran the lecture series. Then I did the all-day seminars. I was the treasurer. I was the secretary. I worked through like a lot of different positions. You have to hold a bunch of different positions and really be involved before you move on to the board and do that. You know, like my first job in ASHRAE, the New York chapter, was reception. So I was greeting people at the dinner meetings, and so by that nature you get to know everybody. I also ran the newspaper, which was an interesting thing. We used to paste it up by hand back then. I always looked at it as giving back to the industry. I wanted to be involved, and you know, and I felt like it was a good way to basically stay involved and stay young in the industry. When I was president, I felt like we, at the time, we were searching for a place to meet. We had lost our meeting place, so that was a very stressful thing. We were at 2 or 3 different venues. Some of them didn't work out, but some of that was fun, and it brought a camaraderie together. I tried to have a lot of people at the lecture series. I wanted to make sure the lecture series and the dinner meetings were there. It was doing PDH credits for engineers at the dinner meetings. We didn't have that, so we had to actually come up with scintillating topics as a draw. To me, it was a very positive experience. I really enjoyed being like out in front and talking to everybody and being the person that was the facilitator for the meetings and making things happen for ASHRAE. Now I am Vice Chairman of the Committee to Rewrite the New York City Building Code 2020. I was involved in the 2014 code and the 2008 code and the 2003 rewrite of Local Law 26. So I've been involved in the code writing for New York City for a very long time. I've given numerous lectures on different HVAC topics that such as climate change and critical systems, things to that effect. One of my teachers was a senior guy that worked at Siskin Hennessy at the time, and he was a very hands-on, practical, actually became like a mentor almost. He really got me enthused in doing HVAC, and he gave us a rigorous thesis that we had to do for our senior project that really was a real-world application of something. So how I got my first job was I looked through, there's a blue book of, I don't know if it still exists, of engineering companies in New York. And I went and made my resumes up and sent out from A to Z, like gotta be 100 resumes or 200 resumes. But I walked through my senior thesis, which was taking a heat pump, a water source heat pump, and putting it in the East River and using it to do thermal heating. If someone just answers your question quickly, go back and ask them why. Always question why. If you're too comfortable in something, you're not learning enough, so you should be uncomfortable. doing stuff. So at the time, everybody was doing hand drafting. So I raised my hand when the partners of my first firm said, hey, we have this new thing, which is a computer program that's going to actually make drawings, and do you want to be involved? So I did, my lettering and handwriting was terrible, so I raised my hand and I got involved in AutoCAD, which had basically less than 100 layers, and you couldn't really do a lot with it at the time. So I took that and used some of my engineering knowledge and became a CAD manager and wrote list routines and all kinds of programming for our initial CAD system, and developed a whole CAD system almost on the side. I really like hiking and being outdoors. That's some of the reason why I started skiing, because I love just being in the middle of nowhere. I also did it to get closer to my kids, because I gave them ski lessons from the time they were little. Now my kids are so much better skiers than they just meet me at the bottom. I enjoy cooking. I'm not gourmet, but I like cooking. I find it's relaxing. Excited about the changes in the industry and some of the things that are going on with regard to all the climate change. People are finally, I'm hoping, will wake up and really realize that this is something that we have to do, and I'm looking forward to the younger generation really taking hold and insisting on making climate change, climate change mitigation a reality, and taking stuff seriously.